Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have an update on the Clayton Echard paternity scandal. Well, it looks like Clayton has lawyered up. That's right, folks. In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups. The police who investigate crime and the power recappers who report it. These are their stories. All right, that's right, folks. Clayton Echard possibly lawyered up. You see how I include a little question mark there? Because what did he do? He posted a photo on Instagram with this husband and wife legal team here. And boy, I'll tell you what, I'll give you my opinion, having done background on Law & Order and having stood in on the pilot for the TV show Suits. I can tell you a thing or two about law. Not legally, though. Follow me on Instagram, @DNeals, or I'll sue ya. I'm kidding. Patreon.com/Dave Neal for private behind-the-scenes bonus content. I'll be live at 10:30 a.m. this morning to talk more behind the scenes. There are several aspects of this case I am not talking about publicly, but I'm going to share something with you behind the scenes that's going to be extra content for you if you're following along on this case. That'll be on today's Patreon.com/Dave Neal. I got to be careful not to overly promote it because I don't want certain people in that Patreon, but anyone can join for as little as $5 a month. Cancel at any time. And every afternoon, Bachelor Rush Hour, the hit podcast. All right, should we get into this story? Let's do it. All right. So here, folks, we have Clayton Echard saying, "Great meeting you all, husband and wife law team." And they are located in Phoenix, Arizona. But what's very interesting about them, and maybe we'll go find their webpage right here, voted best personal injury law firm. So was Clayton injured in a car accident? Did he get injured? Did he slip and fall while taking a paternity exam? Maybe. No. Okay. But he's not. He doesn't have a personal injury issue as far as I know. He's got an issue of defamation. But you've got several lawyers here, Mark and Alexis Breyer. And they offer what is common in the personal injury world, a no-fee promise. I had a car accident several years ago, really hurt my neck, was hit multiple ways by a car that ran a stop sign, hit me on the side, put my Jeep on two wheels, spun me around, and hit a pole. And I received a sizable, yet could have been a lot bigger, settlement. It was 5 figures. It wasn't like it was some crazy thing. From years of physical therapy and epidural shots and all the different things that I needed to begin to minimize the chronic pain that I still face. So the point being is that injury lawyers, they work on they get usually 30 to 40%, depending if it's a bigger settlement, sometimes 40% of whatever the settlement is, but they don't take any money if they don't think they can win. So in most cases, they only will take a case if they know they can settle it, get money, whatever. They're not losing money here. So and it's all contingent on whether or not this Clayton Echard story here is him getting repped by them. If they take him and work on a contingency-only basis, then they believe they can either A, win and get a good settlement, or B, they believe it's going to be good enough for them to take the case pro bono, and then they'll get, whatever sort of publicity they get out of it. These are the types of cases you want to be a part of if you're a lawyer. I fully believe, for the people that understand this case, that there will be a Netflix documentary. I say Netflix, it could be Hulu, it could be anywhere. I truly, and people have asked me to produce it because we've made so much content that with the right producers, we could probably string together a really, really solid 60 to 90 minutes. I don't plan on doing that, but I think I could, but I don't plan on doing that. I'll let the pros do that. But it is kind of tempting. And maybe once we get the final information, I don't know, we'll have to see. But either way, there's a reason why lawyers are, just like any other influencer, are attracted to cases that have this publicity, because just like if you're a real estate agent, and a lawyer, if you're not one of the top dogs, you depend on people knowing your name and knowing who to come to you. And that's why certain lawyers get into building that trust and that faith for wrongful convictions. And if you win something against the Supreme Court, people go, oh, trust that guy. When it really comes down to it, you need a good doctor, a good lawyer, good, not the good doctor, the goodest of doctors. You need they should have a show called The Good Boy Doctor, which is just a golden retriever with a stethoscope. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, either way. So I'm going to just give you guys a solid recap of what has transpired in the last week or two regarding this case. I am going to share new information with you regarding what Jane Doe said and why she believes she is still pregnant with Clayton's twins. I'm going to share that with you in a second. I did quickly want to promote the FBoy premiere last night. I went to the premiere party. What you're about to watch is me watching Katie Thurston make out with someone, and then it cuts to her looking completely mortified. This full vlog is up on my YouTube vlog channel. Tasha Courtney and Dave Neal do fun things. That's everyone cheering. So here we are. My wife and I were just watching this. We did a full recap of the F-Boy. So that's original content. Trust me, I think vlog content's better than what I'm doing over here. So if you want to go see that, I mean, I didn't just fly the drone for nothing. You know what I mean? This is us driving into Los Angeles last night. If drones tracking me, I mean, it's a freaking sitcom. I mean, it looked beautiful, doesn't it? All right. Anyway, so you can go check that content out after you watch this if you haven't already. I gotta promote it because sometimes these other channels don't get featured here. All right, so we went from this Jane Doe claiming that this ultrasound isn't hers, and then we made that whole video where we proved she sent it out as if it was hers, and that ultrasound, of course, was the one that we then found out was fake, as in it was a 6-year-old one pulled off of YouTube. So it doesn't mean she's not pregnant. It just means we proved that this ultrasound was fake. And I have to say that because people said, Dave, are you really getting duped by her? I don't know. I don't know, folks. Something's happening here. Either Jane Doe is telling the truth and Clayton Echard is gaslighting us all, or Clayton Echard's telling the truth and Jane Doe is gaslighting us all. And I don't like to overuse the term gaslighting, but I will tell you this. For future reference, when we talk about gaslighting, I will personally know what it feels like because I am being gaslighted by somebody. Now, currently, my belief is that I'm being gaslighted by Jane Doe. I think that is fair to believe that, considering she has provided faulty evidence to prove she's pregnant. With all of that said, the email I received from her, and I'll share a piece of it with you because I told her I wouldn't share her content, but I think she'd be okay. The email I received from her claims she is pregnant. She's getting the test done. Next week, she invited Clayton to the ultrasound. She said he's afraid to show up. But as we remember, she initially invited him, then claimed she was got a order of protection against him because she was afraid for her life. I mean, she literally called Scottsdale police initially in her initial U.S. Sun magazine article and said she feared for her life and for the life of her unborn twins. So it's almost like, is she going to let Clayton go? Is he going to call her bluff? There have been people that called her bluffs. You know what's interesting? And I'm just going to share this with you guys right now. I received an email from somebody. This might, be good to have this. I received an email from somebody that had a very slanderous press release to go out against Clayton. And the press release was somebody trying to cancel Clayton Echard because in one of his TikTok videos, he danced to a song that said the N-word. He didn't say it. He didn't mouth it. He danced to it. Now, I'm holding off judgment on whether or not we're okay with that right now. If we're not, then we have a bigger moral issue about if you're in a nightclub and the song plays, do you have to leave? Do you have to close your ear? Like, at what point do we cross that line over what is acceptable and not? I think it's common now to say it's unacceptable for someone who looks like Clayton to say the N-word, but does that mean it's unacceptable for him to dance to a song with a lyric that is a question that is above my pay grade? We'll put it that way. But I say that because I received an email from somebody saying, hey, we're trying to expose Clayton. I didn't know who this person was. I said, I would consider sharing this story, but I have to FaceTime with you guys just to know who you are. I only want stories from people. And I actually got this tip from Reality Steve. That's what he does. He likes to FaceTime with somebody to make sure they're real. because he's been duped by people before, and I would hate to be duped and find out that this is somebody who's trying to curate more hell for Clayton in this process by slandering him in whichever way they can. Because, of course, there's nothing illegal if Clayton is dancing with to a song that sings a word that might be considered or is considered explicit, right? But either way, it's a story that I didn't feel like covering, especially not knowing who it is that's trying to slander him. They never responded to me after my second request to get a FaceTime interview. My DMs are open if that person does exist and if they are real. My questioning is whether or not that is another attempt by Jane Doe to sort of play hardball. And we'll have to see how that all plays out. We absolutely will. So we covered this. Here's what Clayton said last week. We covered this, I believe, on Thursday of last week. This is Clayton responding, finding out he's not the dad, and then afterwards saying she didn't show up to her appointment for the second set of fetal DNA.
Make this short and simple. Update time. This individual that was supposed to submit a sample, their second sample, after the first sample came out and said little to no fetal DNA, they were supposed to submit a second sample yesterday. It was confirmed they never showed up and submitted a sample. So wanted to put that out there so everyone's aware. They never showed up. Beyond that, I found out this morning, this individual sent me an email last week and showed me the ultrasound video. I already had my suspicions because, again, I already knew that this was not real.
So, of course, that was the video that we then shared on YouTube and also on Instagram. I will play that clip for you if you happen to miss it. I know a lot of people are just coming back to this story now and didn't get caught up because we've had so many details. This is the video which proves that the ultrasound shared, and I know it's shared, that Jane Doe denied it. She denied that this was hers, but it was also in her public Dropbox, and she had also sent this to multiple accounts. So I feel very safe in saying this, that she lied, and that she knew this wasn't her ultrasound, and that she had doctored it, or somebody had doctored it, and then she had used it to prove that she was pregnant. I feel safe in saying that after meeting with my defamation lawyers. Here's the ultrasound. While some folks chose to make fun of Clayton for being the victim of a paternity scandal, this ultrasound was used to prove Clayton was the father. The only problem is, it's fake. So when you line up the one from 6 years ago to this one, you see that they are exactly identical. It is not hers.
You are not the father.
All right, and then we played a little Outcast, you know what I mean? And look, that is at the point when people started questioning Clayton. Again, he was just dancing a TikTok dance there. But the people close to Clayton were questioning whether or not he should have reacted the way he did. I believe that is rubbish. Gabby calls out Clayton's response. Who would handle a situation like that? Which, again, you have to remember, Clayton, if this is true that he's being gaslighted by somebody, then he is the victim here. And then how dare anybody question how he handles it? He is the victim there. He has had a burden. We know other Bachelor alumni that have dealt with self-harm and all these other issues from mental health problems. And with Clayton thinking that he's being ostracized from the group, I mean, before it became known, out there that he was telling the truth and provided some of this evidence, no one believed him. Not one person believed him, truthfully. I mean, you can go back and look at me. I said, let's get some more information. It looked fishy, but the mob was marching towards him with, pitchforks and lit tiki, whatever. They were ready to go. So here's a piece of the email I got. I know it's small here, but this is from Jane Doe. I took the blood test for RavGen today. I believe this was yesterday. And also decided to order an HCG test myself, and the results should come back tomorrow, which is today. Please remember that I didn't just pee on a stick and send an image to Clayton. My pregnancy test was done at an urgent care facility, in addition to the one I took in front of Clayton that he bought himself. I did a urine test myself in this morning, and it was positive, but I figured I wouldn't be believed if I didn't have it done at the lab. All the best. So, as far as the rules of, I believe people when they tell me something. And if, when you read an email like this, you go, I guess she is pregnant. Is she pregnant or not?
And if she is it Clayton's kid or not? Now, Clayton said she took the test and it said no fetal DNA. We should know, I mean, if she's not pregnant, and again, I have to use these terms if, you guys know, but if she's not pregnant, then my mind is really torn over this because I was just, I was born and raised to believe people, and there's just no motive for her to lie other than she's possibly trying to cover for a story she never thought would get this far out of hand. In that being, 150,000 people in the Bachelor Nation internet looking at every record. Like, she wanted all of this sealed. It wasn't sealed. And maybe that's in the past how she would get away with these things, by having court documents sealed and also not doing it to somebody with any credibility. Because in the past, these guys, I mean, it must have been very easy for no one to believe them, because why would anyone ever make this up? Even when I met with my defamation lawyer said, she must be pregnant. Whether it's his or not is the question. And I go, yeah, but what if she's lying? And that's the question we've asked all along. And people have said, oh, Dave, you're so naive to believe her. I'm just telling you, my human reaction is when someone says this, to believe them, even though we know all of these examples, including this video, which we took down for fear of lawsuit, which, by the way, I can announce now, I put back up. I put this back up. This was a video of a separate case where all of the evidence dropped. I mean, it's a long video, but all of the evidence dropped that fake sonogram was used and reverse Google searched in a previous case. And in this previous case, allegedly, she went as far as to create a letterhead from lawyers that she wasn't working with. And when these lawyers were contacted, they said, we have no connection to her. And so then it makes you question all of the legal, threats that have existed to keep people silent. So again, this is alleged to be fraudulent. Sent on behalf of Joe Cotchett, re Jane Doe's pregnancy. So here's the email. I'm going to read it for you. Again, this is the fraudulent email that she, according to these court documents, put together with the lawyers, and the lawyers say, this ain't it. So here's where I'm going to stand now. I just decided this literally on the fly. If Jane Doe wants me to take these YouTube videos down, just send me a proper cease and desist from a lawyer. When I vet that it is from an actual lawyer, I will take them down again. But I am back to publishing all of this information, and that's where we're going to stand. So, with regards to the new information, to summarize, the new information is this. Clayton might have these new lawyers, and Jane Doe says she retook her test yesterday. And by the way, she said she should have the results today. I'm not exactly sure how the turnaround would be that quickly, but either way, we wait for those results. We wait for them. I believe whatever result she receives, Clayton will receive his end. So if there's any discrepancies or anything, we'll know that right away. All of that information should be coming out soon. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you are up to date on all of the alerts regarding this case. It is not coming to a close anytime soon. It just might be entering a courtroom playing field, in which case we'll be there to cover the story. All right, folks, we'll be back with more content. Don't forget to check out that FBoy Island premiere vlog. You'll enjoy it. We'll be back right after this.